Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. We have videos today from Legion of Men.
Welcome back, tribe. We got one here that says women are voting for the destruction of the West. Check this out, though, before we get into this one.
We've already known this. We've seen all the things that women vote for.
Here's women. Take a look at women. Says, I used to think it was a bit mad how women weren't allowed to do anything back in the day, but I genuinely get it now. These are liberal women.
What's going on? Is it two gangs fighting each other right now? It's like two gangs trying to intimidate each other right now or something. What is going on?
And then here's Piers Morgan, the singular cuck in the whole group. Oh, wait, there's another male cuck. There's two male cucks in here that I saw. What is this?
What is it?
Take their rights away. What? Look at Carrot. What are you doing, bro? A 10-year-old boy can punch you in the face and take advantage of you, like literally strong-arm you into doing whatever they want. These people have zero power. What is grandma here going to do? Are these single, childless women that have some like mental issue? Like some disease of not birthing any children? I don't know.
I think so. I can see it being like a mental issue after not having kids.
I understand what's going on here. The female imperative turned inward or actually outward towards society because they have nobody to take care of.
Yeah, because they're so upset at themselves because they're so weak, they just yell.
Babies. That motherly instinct turns into whatever this is. What is this?
It literally looks like two birds, like cocking each other. I don't know. I don't know. It just looks like two birds just mate dancing or something.
Like a liberal cringe off right here. What is this shit?
Cringe off.
Take their fucking rights away. Take every one of their rights away. I think this experiment is over with. We already saw where it leads.
Females go around with this chip on their shoulder all the time. You know, you've got this in the UK too. I'm sure that females make 74% on the dollar for every male, which is completely a phony statistic. It doesn't take into account the hours worked and whatnot. But a lot of females feel like they have to have some sort of one-upmanship with males and go around looking for reasons to feel offended and oppressed. And that to me is the height of delusion, because I'm in a lot better position than you are in this society as a female than as a male. I get opportunities that you are going to be completely denied.
So whilst you've been arguing about the feminization of society, there's been the masculinization of femininity.
Right. Up to a point.
Up to a point.
Up to a point. Because the point is it hasn't really affected the valuing of rationality, and it hasn't affected the drive to create. I mean,
You're very rational, or are you saying you're an anomaly?
I wish I were more rational. I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to judge how rational I am, but I am perfectly prepared to cop to what I regard as the unfortunate aspects of females. Whether I have the fortunate ones, I don't know. But you know, we're taught again to see any disparity as proof of discrimination. So if there's not a lot of females in any individual field, it's got to be discrimination. I have spent the last year or so observing the photos of the AI entrepreneur tech startup people. There is no barrier to females. In fact, females, as far as getting venture capital, they are welcomed with open arms. People were throwing millions, if not billions of dollars at her because they were so happy to finally have a female tech entrepreneur that they could back. George Shultz was backing her. It was just unbelievable. She had an honor roll of the VCs in Silicon Valley and the political elite. So there are no barriers to females. You look at the newspaper, it's all male. It's all male. It's incredible. The people that are starting these tech companies now, it's not a legacy company. They are males because it's the same drive that, led Vasco da Gama to try and figure out how to navigate around the Atlantic Ocean that led to the exploration, the circumnavigation of the globe.
So,
yeah, that's an important point, that women just have different interests and they don't care about things men care about. So that leads.
And men are very risk takers. We love risk. Wait, I can go out there and discover something new and be the first one to do it? But I might die. What's the chances of dying? 50-50? Those are pretty good odds. I'm out. That's men.
Leads to different outcomes. That's all. It's not that there's a systemic issue, a structural problem with that vertical in society, for example. So, hey, there's not enough women in AI because it's an old boys club and somehow men are suppressing women from getting jobs. No, just women don't care. Most women don't care. A vast majority of women don't care about AI research.
They don't care about technology like that. Right? They care about technology to use technology, but they don't care about creating the technology. They don't have the minds for that.
The only ones that are interested in this are usually men, very nerdy types.
Exactly. And it's not even all men. That's the other side of this too. It's like, it is the very fringe few that are very into this, that are all up in this field.
Quirky personalities, brains that work very differently from the rest of society. And they're interested in this kind of research for the future.
No, I have my best friend. I told you guys, he works for Google. And he used to work for their AI department. How his brain works is totally different than how my brain works. Like, the things he's able to connect and the things I'm able to connect are not the same. Even though we're able to make similar connections when it comes to like ideas and stuff, but it almost is never the same connection. But it's similar, but it's never the same.
Future. And, all the power that it will bring society. Do you think women are just sitting down and thinking like,
how do I make
AI
society
research better? And like frontier intelligence? And no, dude.
They don't.
99.99% of women are into some different shit. And
yeah, you know how technology was created? When men were just sitting there, I was like, I want robotic legs. I think robotic legs are gonna be the shit. I watch a lot of Gundam. I watch a lot of, Armor Core and all these things, and I want robotic legs. And what do men do? They go and fucking do it. Like, that's the thing. Men just think of crazy shit, and they're like, "Can we do this?" And then they attempt to do it, and then half the time it works out, but the other half it definitely does not.
And we're making the mistake of saying like, no, broad strokes. That means there's a problem with society. So we have to retune women. We have to make them more masculine. We have to make them think more logically. We have to pigeonhole them, force them into a box that they themselves should not be forced into and don't like to be in.
Correct.
Which is why they have record numbers of like being on happy pills, right? Like they need pharmacologicals just to be able to cope with society today. This is not an ideal situation. This is why you see women crying in cars, talking about, why do we have jobs? I just wish I could stay at home and be a mom. They don't care about half of the shit that men care about.
They don't.
Unfortunately, that half is what drives society. That half is what creates civilization. That half is what
is all the comforts in the world that we have now. Is the men half.
What makes the world around us work. Some women do, great. They're anomalies. But a huge proportion of men do by default because that's just how our brains work. And that leads to different outcomes. Somewhere along the lines, feminism and liberalism and progressivism came along and said, no, this isn't just like human nature. This is a problem of society. It's structural. It's man-made. It is.
I feel like it's the top down. You know, the elites are like, how do we get more workers to be more workery? You know, to do more work.
In the most liberal societies in Europe, in Scandinavian countries that have more freedom than anywhere else in the world, more equality than anywhere else in the world, there's still a discrepancy in jobs in certain sectors of work. And they can't close the gap no matter how hard they've tried because there's no interest. It's a lack of interest because women have different interests and it's biological. But the liberals want you to not believe that because it destroys the entire sense of the trans ideology of like, gender is a human construct and a man can become a woman. Only a loony believes that shit. No, it is deeply rooted in biology. Quite literally, we can't be here. We wouldn't exist if that was the case. That is, it is a human construct. It's not. And being a man and a woman are two very powerful, fundamental chemical differences in our bodies that cause us to think about different things, but not only evolutionarily pressured to think in different ways, like what it takes a woman being a smaller body because we're a dimorphic species, what it takes for them to survive, groupthink, stay together in the herd, don't, point your head, don't be the nail that sticks out to get hammered. Now,
this is how Asians were trained. Like I said, when I came to this country, we were like trained not to don't stick out like a sore thumb because you'll get hammered. Because you're not of this country. You're Asian. This country is a white country. Don't do anything that makes you stick out too much. And because of that, Asians kind of grow up very small. And they don't really get the presence that most other races do because we're trained to kind of stay small.
Now, a man, where we were trained by women, socially reinforced. Women don't want weak men. Women want the strongest caveman that will go fight the saber-tooth tiger and willing to risk their lives to protect them. So women bred men to be innovative, to be stronger, bigger, faster, smarter, because they essentially outsourced all of that to men.
Correct.
That's what women did. In exchange for babies and a man reproducing, women outsourced everything else to men. You're a man, go do that. Go make the fire. Go kill the animal. Go build the skyscraper. Go make this house safe. Go do all of this for me and I will give you babies. That's been the exchange in the entire animal kingdom, anywhere you look. Essentially, that's what the trade is. Because we want to pass down our genes and the women want to be protected. And so they'll choose the strongest, fastest, smartest males. And in today's society, we're supposed to pretend like that difference wasn't reinforced over thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. And that somehow it's all a human construct. It isn't. It isn't. It is innate. You can see it in babies. From the age of 1, you can see the difference in how young boys play with dolls and action figures, whatever you want to call them, toys, and how girls play with toys. Girls tend to want to pretend they have a baby their toys, treat them nice. Do you know what the boys do?
We fight him. You just
their fucking heads off. They rip their arms off. They make them collide with one another.
This is like 1-year-old boys. I'm not saying to be like they're idiots. I'm just saying when you're a little kid, you see 2 toys, you're like, fight each other.
Explosions, war, shit like that. Why? It's innate. Nobody taught the kid that, but somehow a little boy wants to rip it apart and then put its head back on. Isn't it crazy?
I lost a lot of G.I. Joes that way.
See how we do that? Just nobody told us to. It's wired in us.
You're saying it's different in tech than it is in AI?
No, it's the same. It's driven. Females are just not pushing themselves into that world. There are no barriers. There are no gatekeepers.
Oh, right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
There's no gatekeepers. The argument is always there's gatekeepers that are discriminating
There's a glass
against
ceiling.
female.
Yeah.
I collect natural experiments.
And it's funny because it's always being told by women that aren't in the industry, right? There's just some random woman telling you how women in the industry are getting oppressed because they can't join, but it's not true.
Of gatekeeper-less environments without a gatekeeper, so you can't blame the gatekeeper. And I've invoked this before. The perfect example of this is Wikipedia, the online crowdsourced encyclopedia, which is
Hard left,
anonymous.
crowdsourced.
It's right. Well, that.
Yeah.
that's a different story.
Yeah.
But let's just look at the gender issue. Nobody prevents anybody from editing a Wikipedia entry. It's blind. There's no barriers. And to Wikipedia Foundation's utter dismay and horror, about 90% of the editors are male. Nobody's keeping out the females. They just don't have that same drive for facts,
information, truth, justice,
for documentation, and even the putatively female entries on like Manolo Blahnik stiletto heels. They're very short. They're very thin compared to an obscure battle in the Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
So just
us guys really do love history, don't we?
to color in, illustrate your
That's a
point a
good
little
point.
further is, I think I just saw an article that now in America, for the third time in American history, women are have more of the jobs than men. And that's something to do with, I think, healthcare boom. But it is the case that it's in terms of employment, this doesn't mean there's non-employment work.
There's also a lot of men that just gave up on employment too. So there's also that.
You know, let's say like care, as I keep going back to, the bars to entry aren't there like they were before. But if I can go back a step to your point about rape on campus.
Yeah.
So let's take, for the sake of argument, that those students were in fact being raped. And it wasn't, as you describe, regret and sort of repackaged or kind of psyched themselves into thinking it's something else. It's not necessarily the case that they would act differently. Now, that might sound a bit weird, but in Britain, we have time and time again, case and case again, stories. Only this last week, there's been at least 3 that I've seen of illegal immigrants coming and raping British women. And you'd have thought the feminists would be standing up against illegal immigration.
Yes.
They'd be standing up against what's going on around the asylum seeker hotels. And indeed, some of them are. There are a handful of them. They're branded as far right, as always. But if you look at the data, young women are still voting for the party, like the Green Party, that would increase that. That's the thing I don't quite get. That's the thing I want to unlock with you. That's that contradiction. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. It's just irrational, and it shows that there is a hierarchy of left-wing values, as there's, of course, a hierarchy of conservative values. We know that a more left-wing podcast would have sort of a mirror image, I'm sure, of what we're talking about. But it is a total failure of the ability to think systematically. And it's the cardinal sin in Western societies now is alleged racism. It trumps everything else. It trumps murder. I recently wrote about the New York Times.
Yeah, but whose fault is it? Listen, unless you're talking about repealing women's voting rights, I really don't want to hear this shit.
Times' coverage.
Sorry, it comes across as extreme to normies. I get it, but it's not just women. Okay, I will amend that statement and say most people shouldn't have a right to vote. Voting.
Agreed. I probably shouldn't have a right to vote. I've always said this, right? Like, I'm not well educated enough on these policies, on our politicians, and on what the fuck is going on. You know what I care about? Me and mine. I care about my family, care about myself, care about my work, care about my businesses, care about my friends. That's what I care about. And everything else is just a little bit extra noise sometimes.
Voting shouldn't be a right. Voting should be a privilege that you earn when you give back to the state and you sacrifice for the state.
Agreed.
Because that means you'll put everyone else before yourself. So we want people like that to have a say in society. Not selfish people who only want things given to them. That's what is getting reduced down to. How can my team win? How can my side win? How can I win? How can my people win?
Yeah, it's not how does the U.S. become a better fucking country? How does the U.S. keep dominating? No, it's I want my thing.
Instead of how can we help each other?
of a absolutely horrific lethal assault committed by a Haitian immigrant in the United States. Brutal. And for the Times, they ignored the murder until Trump posted about it and made an immigration point that we need to end the program that is bringing all these Haitians in. And for the New York Times, the sin was Trump's alleged racism, not the murder. And so for these females who are voting continuously for open borders, that's because there's a lot going on there. Part of it is, if you want to put the best possible light on it, you would say they're compassionate towards the...
What do we call it? It's that fucking toxic empathy. Like, women really can't put themselves in men's shoes, but they can put themselves in migrants' shoes for some reason.
Come on,
underprivileged
bro.
Of the world, and they want to share widely the benefits of Western civilization. And so we're not going to say, we're here, we're going to keep you out. That's the best possible interpretation. One that I think is probably more accurate is that the West has been overrun now by an ideology of self-destruction. The West is the only civilization on the planet today that is determined to both erase itself demographically and to discredit its unparalleled achievements and to exaggerate its common faults. I don't know.
What group of people benefit from that? Think about this. In the Middle East, there's a small group of people, and they benefit exactly from what she just said. There is a small group of people in the Middle East that has been battling white Western society throughout the millennia. Correct. Goes back to the Roman times, and they hold this grudge. Historically, they hold this grudge. They say Europeans, it's in their blood how they feel this way. So our goal is to destroy them and use every means possible at our disposal. These are a group of people, very international clique, that can be found in every country, but have a broad and distinct, very distinct identity, which causes them to view themselves as either superior, but always outsiders, for sure, within the society that they're embedded in. Who benefits from telling Europeans that they should feel bad about? Who controls the media? Who controls the culture dissemination via radio, not just media, the news?
I mean, they do happen to own most media outlets, right? Legacy outlets.
Papers, cable TV, the movies you're watching. Who is in control of the information and is able to paint in broad strokes these ideologies? Who writes multiple books?
The people that you can't talk about on the internet before you get canceled.
On anti-whiteism and stuff like that. Just a question, because this would be the logical question that you would ask yourself when you're looking at society, broadly speaking, the West, and going, how is this happening? Where did this ideology spawn from? Who's funding it? And who are the main proponents of it across every single country where this is happening? Mm-hmm. And then you start to see patterns start emerging. And if you say these patterns out loud, it's somehow a problem.
It's a big problem.
But isn't it weird how the pattern keeps emerging in every single place?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Japan, look at South Korea, they're just slightly ahead of us. And so they got experimented on first, in my opinion.
At once, using...
Yeah, they were the smaller microcosms that they were able to control. And then now look at how big the U.S. is compared to Japan and South Korea, right? Conspiracy theories.
The same exact network to implement its strategy in destroying the West, because once the West is destroyed and it can't defend itself and has crumbled over its own multiculturalism and all of this stuff, cannot raise an army because the land is covered in foreigners. What power in the Middle East benefits from this happening? Who are the only people checking the Middle East currently? And nobody. What this country's ambitions are for the rest of the world. Just saying. go down your own rabbit hole. Anyways.
The world is crazy out there, guys. You know, protect yourselves, you and yours. Those are the most important things. Everything else, again, is a bit of noise, but sometimes you gotta have to hear the noise. You gotta absorb the noise a little bit so you know what exactly is going on. But you don't have to fully correct everything, because what can you do other than the things that you can control yourself? Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that, and catch you guys next time. Ciao.